Hello, hello, my lovely Scorpios. Welcome to Vivid Vibration Tarot. My name is Christina, and I'm going to be doing your general read for the upcoming month of November. Happy birthday to my October and November Scorpios. Love y'all so much. All right, let's see what we have going on for my Scorps. Last read was really intense, so I'm a little bit curious for what's going to happen for y'all this month. Excuse me. Scorpios, the orphan, the sustainer. What was it last month? Here was serious connection and possible movement. It felt like a really big read, honestly. So, and I feel like when they're really big reads like that, they tend to play out over a longer period of time. I could be wrong, but I kind of get the feeling that it's one of those, you know. I mean, I have a lot of cards here. I don't know why I'm still shuffling. Sorry. Okay, so we have the orphan, the box, the prayer, agape, the maiden, and the sustainer, and the hunter. And Scorps, I feel like last time, the last read that I did for y'all, you were doing like you were going forward with an offering, or this person was coming forward with an offering. You know, obviously these reads you can be on either side of the story, so take it how it resonates, gender neutral, all the things. Okay, I want to start with the orphan in the box, because I feel like that's kind of where you were at last month, right? It's just feeling like there was an ending at hand and feeling just really sad about this separation. And, you know, I kind of get the feeling that that's just kind of like where you feel like you just keep finding yourself. There was an element of, sorry guys, I know that you don't think that I should do this. And I feel like that's kind of this, I want to say, with like this cycle that you have with this person of just like constantly feeling like you're on the outs, and it feels like the harder you try, the further out you get. You know, and you just feel like, I mean, the idea of the orphan is like clinging to something, you know, and I feel like that energy was present last month as well, with that idea of like you can't let it go. And so I think your inability to let it go, it's like almost taking you down this like wormhole of like bad habits and bad patterns, which I also feel like was in last month's read as well. And then I want to go to the prayer, well, agape, because again, I feel like it's that idea of like you just feeling like you're having to really reassess everything, you know. And one of the things that I remember saying for last month is like, if I have to change something for this relationship, I will, whatever that is. And I almost kind of get the feeling that like what you're trying to do is just kind of like bring yourself into this understanding of why it is that you keep finding yourself in the same cycle over and over and over again, you know, because it feels like there's only one way that this goes, and it's killing you. And so you're trying to figure out like why. Because what you're really wanting to do is achieve, you know, like what it is that you long for. What is, I mean, the idea of a prayer is manifestation. And, you know, manifesting in, you know, just like basic terms is the idea of intentionally wanting something and, you know, speaking on it and making actions toward it. And, you know, just like that's manifestation. It doesn't just stop at like, I said it and now I'm done, you know what I mean? Like there's action behind it as well. But I feel like in terms of the prayer, it's not so much about the action as it is about the intention and what it is that you are wanting to create intentionally. and I want to say finding some illumination in that search, because I feel like the empty room was in your read, the last one, I think. But that being said, it feels like that, okay, if this is what I really want, then this is where I'm going to lay my intentions. I feel like this, almost like this sense of meditation, or, like focusing. I know some people like to use candles, and just like focus on the flame and just kind of like meditate in that energy and like send it out, There are all the different types of things that people do for that. But anyways, so I feel like that's kind of like what you're doing in this like separation, and this feeling like you're caught in this cycle, is really like intentionally, like I almost want to say like coming up with a plan, of how it is that you can sustain that happiness. I want to say that happiness that you had in the beginning. I want to take it back to that, to the read last month, because it's that idea of connection and feeling like if this is the problem, then I won't get rid of the person, I'll get rid of the problem. And figuring out, I almost want to say like what that problem is by placing the reality of the situation next to like the intention of the situation, or what it is that you're longing for, desiring for, and like if this is what I intend, then this is what it would look like. But this is what it does look like, and how are they in juxtaposition to one another, and figuring it out. But I think, like figuring it out, like how is it that I can do this? Because this feels like a very, like a centered, I'm gaining understanding into myself so that I know how it is that I want to do this. And the hunter, which I feel like this is coming in as your energy, but obviously, take it how it resonates. But the hunter is that idea of like moving towards sustainability rather than bad cycles of feeling abandoned, feeling, left out in the cold. Okay. Scorpios. The Tower. Yeah, I mean, that end. Eight of Wands and the Hunter. Movement on movement. Okay, so the Tower, again, that idea of this end that you feel like you've just been caught in, that it's like you feel like the second you've gotten out of one box, you found yourself in another, and that one's even smaller than the last one was. It's just kind of this idea of like, shit, I thought if I made it out of that box, then I would be free, but now I'm just like, it's almost like this idea of like snowballing out of control. Like it just keeps getting worse and worse, and you're like, I don't know how to make it better. The end is nigh, like the end is here. Like it's done. Like stick a fork in it. But that's not what you really want. And the King of Pentacles is like going in with this major offer. Did y'all have the King of Pentacles in your last one too? The King or the Knight of Pentacles. But yeah, I mean, going in and making an offer. I mean, Pentacles is a financial thing. So it could be that some of my Scorpios are, because I really do, I don't know, some of my Scorpios are moving, like states. But, it's this idea of movement. And I mean, in terms of the hunter and sustainability, it feels like this idea of like, okay, we need stable ground to stand on. If we're going to ever explore this in the way that we really intend. then there's got to be some stability. Because this just feels like a really tumultuous relationship, y'all. Like one of those really toxic kinds. And I think you're just, I don't want to say like a last ditch effort, but like almost this last ditch effort of really just like moving toward sustainability. I mean, and the maiden is an idea of like curiosity and you know, sexuality and new beginnings. So I mean, I feel like I don't want to say like you're recreating, because I don't get the feeling that you want to recreate. I get the feeling that you want to move away from something that very may well have started out toxic, you know? Like, I don't know if this person, like maybe it was a third party situation, you know, like you guys were just really drawn to each other and things got out of hand and it got emotional and you know, just bad quickly, and yet here you are, you know. Trying to figure out how you can make it right and how you can find that, I want to say like find that inner stability, you know, because you can't, I almost get the feeling this idea of like you can't go to someone and say I want you to be a stable person in my life if you yourself aren't willing to be a stable person, right? And so there's this idea of like, I almost feel like you're both moving into a place where it's like, okay, we have this opportunity to do this, let's do this together. And it feels like this big move, but I feel like the thought and the mentality behind it is that that's just the thing you need to get you I don't want to say back to the beginning, because the beginning feels like a box, but get you to that place where you can just like be happy and enjoy each other and have conversations and not have like this nitpicky fight, or you know, like every time you talk to each other it's like drama, you know. Like there, you know, I mean, there are relationships that didn't exist like that, you know. And Scorpios, I love y'all so much, and I know, you know, like your intensity comes with this, you know, this depth that can sometimes be overpowering in a way. And I know you don't mean to be overpowering, but you're also competitive in your nature. And I don't say that as like a bad thing, because I think that people who are competitive tend to be more successful in life, you know. Like, I don't know a Scorpio that I've ever met that isn't successful in whatever field they're in. You know, you're ambitious, but part of that is that competitive spirit. And I think that what I want to say is that if you started this out in a third party situation, oh, Jesus, I lost the card entirely. I don't even know where it went. And that's no good. Okay, well, I guess we'll just pause on that deck. Sorry, guys. But if you're in a third party, if you started this out in a third party situation, and I'm sorry if this is too specific for some of my Scorpios, but this is just what I'm getting, so we're just going to roll with it. But if you started this out in a third party situation and you were competing with other people in this person's life, then you're already kind of starting out with that, like that scorpion strike, you know, where you're like, you're going to hit him where it hurts. And it almost, like, I almost kind of get the feeling that you kind of missed out on that stage in the relationship where people are like enamored with each other, you know, but like in a positive way, you know, where they do things together and enjoy each other instead of being angry and, you know, throwing shade, or, you know, like, you didn't call me because of this, or I don't know, you know, but that's what it feels like. And so I feel like what you're wanting to do is move your relationship into an area, maybe for some of you quite literally moving just entirely, but like move it into an area where it's safe from all of the negativity that once was. Because I think in your mind, again, Scorpio, it's the negativity wasn't coming from you and this person. You and this person had a very real connection. The negativity was coming from all of these outside circumstances. And if you could just remove those outside circumstances, then you could fix this. That's what I feel like I hear you saying. And that's what I feel like you're trying to move towards. And I feel like that's when, like, that idea of like coming in with this sense of stability, like where that lies with that. Oh my God, we're already at 16 minutes. So I'm just going to go ahead and do some archetypes. I feel like I didn't get a lot of cards, but I did get a solid read. So I hope this resonated with y'all. I'm curious. The siren, the vow. Yeah, again, with that, like, I mean, the idea of the siren is that you literally cannot avoid the call, you know, and that plays back into the idea of this, like, this connection that you have with this person where you're just like, I can't not be with this person, you know, like, you know, like, I feel like that's just where you're coming from. And I think that there's this idea of I want to say those soft moments that you experienced with this person. And in those soft moments, the promises that you made to one another. And that's what you're holding on to, you know? And to you, it's not about everybody else. It's about this person. You know, I mean, I feel like you guys are really I don't feel like a toxic energy coming from you right now. I feel like maybe you've come out of some toxicity and you're trying to heal. You're trying to, you know, focus on growth and understanding and creation, you know, because what you really want is to move towards stability in a big way. And I feel like, you know, whenever you guys do decide to really like do this, that it'll be something that you do fairly quickly. But I also feel like there's just, you know, a process of understanding it and figuring it out along the way, so it doesn't happen overnight. But yeah, thank you so much for spending some time with me. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see y'all again soon.